Ever wondered how politicians get so rich? If you've ever pondered that question, you're not alone. It's a curious phenomenon that's sparked intrigue worldwide. You see, our elected officials, the ones who are supposed to be public servants, often seem to accumulate wealth at a much higher rate than the average citizen. It's not uncommon for politicians to enter the public sector with modest fortunes and leave with wealth that would make Midas blush. The transformation is often so dramatic that it leaves many of us scratching our heads, questioning how this meteoric rise in personal wealth is possible. Take, for instance, the case of a local council member who was elected with a modest income and left office as a millionaire. Or consider the senator who entered public service with a decent fortune, only to have it multiply several times over during their tenure. These stories are not exceptions, but rather the norm in the world of politics. Politicians from all walks of life, in every corner of the globe, seem to have a knack for multiplying their wealth. It's as though they've discovered a secret formula for wealth accumulation that defies the economic realities faced by most of their constituents. Now, it's important to note that not all politicians experience this financial windfall. There are certainly those who maintain a strict separation between their public duties and their personal finances, but the number of politicians who do experience a significant increase in wealth is enough to raise eyebrows and warrant a closer look. So what's happening behind the scenes? How do politicians manage to accumulate such wealth? Are they simply more financially savvy? Or is there a more complex explanation that involves the intricate interplay of power, influence, and money? These are questions that we need to explore if we're ever to understand the economic dynamics at play in the world of politics. So, how do politicians manage to accumulate such wealth? Let's take a closer look. Before we dive into the how, let's take a step back. Let's journey to a time before the campaign trails, before the speeches, before the public scrutiny. A time when our politicians were just ordinary citizens with their own careers and ambitions. Many politicians begin their careers in law, a profession that can be lucrative but is not a guaranteed path to wealth. Even those who achieve success in this field often earn incomes that, while comfortable, are far from the opulence we associate with the political elite. Others come from backgrounds in business. Some have built successful companies from the ground up. Others have held high-ranking positions in established firms. Again though, while these careers can provide a comfortable living, they don't necessarily make one a millionaire. A good number of politicians start in academia, teaching or researching in various fields. The income in this profession is usually modest, and the net worth of such individuals rarely crosses into the seven-figure territory before they enter politics. Even those who do come from wealth often don't have fortunes comparable to what they accumulate once in office. Yes, there are politicians who have inherited substantial wealth or married into it, but these are more the exception than the rule. And let's not forget about those who come from humble beginnings. Politicians who started out in working-class families, who put themselves through school, who know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. These individuals enter politics not as millionaires, but as people who have fought for every dollar they've earned. So we see a wide spectrum of financial backgrounds among politicians before they step into the political arena. From the self-made business people to the hard-working academics, from the successful lawyers to the heirs and heiresses, wealth is not a prerequisite for a political career. Therefore, it begs the question, if they weren't millionaires before they entered politics, how did they get there? Let's follow the money trail. The world of politics can be a lucrative one. Once in office, politicians find themselves with a plethora of opportunities to bolster their bank accounts. And it's not just their salaries we're talking about. Consider book deals. Politicians often pen memoirs, policy books, or even novels, and these can command substantial advances and royalties. From a former president's memoir that fetched a seven-figure advance to a senator's policy book that consistently sells well, these literary endeavors can significantly increase a politician's wealth. Then there are speaking engagements. When politicians aren't debating bills or attending committee meetings, they might be found on stages worldwide, delivering keynote speeches to eager audiences. And these speaking engagements, they don't come cheap. A single speech can earn a politician tens of thousands of dollars. Multiply that by dozens of engagements a year, and you can see how the numbers start to add up. Investments also play a key role. Many politicians enter office with a portfolio of investments, and these can continue to grow while they serve. Politicians might invest in stocks, bonds, or real estate, and these investments can yield substantial returns. It's not uncommon for a politician to see their net worth multiply several times over thanks to savvy investments. And let's not forget about lobbying. Though it's a topic that's often shrouded in controversy, it's no secret that politicians can earn a pretty penny from lobbying efforts. Whether it's advocating for a specific industry or pushing for certain legislation, politicians can earn hefty fees for their influence. So, from book deals to speaking fees, from investments to lobbying, the opportunities for wealth accumulation in the world of politics are abundant. It's a complex and often murky money trail, but one that can lead to substantial wealth. But that's not the whole story. There's more to this wealth accumulation than meets the eye. The power of influence cannot be understated. It's a potent tool, and politicians often wield it with finesse. But how does this influence translate into wealth? Let's delve into that. One of the ways politicians can amass wealth is through lobbying. Now, lobbying is a term that often gets a bad rap. In essence, it's the act of influencing decision makers to create policies or laws that favor a particular group, industry, or cause. Politicians, with their access to legislative levers, are prime targets for lobbyists. In return for their support, politicians may receive campaign contributions, lucrative job offers, post-politics, or other forms of financial incentives. Another avenue for wealth accumulation is policy changes that benefit their investments. Imagine a politician who owns a significant stake in a renewable energy company. If they push for legislation favoring green energy, their investments could skyrocket in value. It's a bit like having the power to tilt the roulette wheel in your favor. While this might seem like a clear conflict of interest, it's often within the bounds of the law, albeit ethically murky. Then, there's insider trading. This term typically refers to the illegal practice of trading on the stock market based on confidential information. However, for a long time, US lawmakers were exempt from insider trading laws. They could buy or sell stocks based on non-public information they learned on the job. Though this loophole was somewhat tightened in 2012, questions about its enforcement and effectiveness still linger. These methods are often legal, but they can be controversial. They raise questions about fairness, integrity, and the very essence of representative democracy. The line between influence and manipulation, between service and self-service, can sometimes blur. So, as you can see, the wealth of politicians is not just a result of their salaries. It's a complex web of influence, policy, and opportunity. And while we can argue about the ethics and fairness of these practices, one thing is clear: the power of influence is a formidable tool in the hands of those who know how to use it. What happens when they leave office, you may ask? Well, the game of wealth accumulation doesn't stop when the political music subsides. Even after politicians have stepped down from their public roles, their wealth often continues to balloon, thanks to multiple avenues of income. Firstly, let's talk pensions. After leaving office, politicians often enjoy hefty pensions. Depending on the country and the position held, these pensions can be quite substantial and provide a steady stream of income long after the politician has left the public sphere. Next, we have the much coveted board positions. Many corporations and organizations are eager to have former politicians on their boards. Why? Their political insights, connections, and influence are valuable assets. These board positions often come with significant paychecks, adding another income source to the politician's portfolio. Then there's consulting work. With their wealth of experience and understanding in policy making, politicians are in high demand for consulting roles. Companies, organizations, even other politicians may seek their advice and are willing to pay top dollar for their expertise. And let's not forget speaking engagements. From university lectures to corporate seminars, former politicians are often invited to share their thoughts and experiences. These engagements can pay quite handsomely, and with each speech, their bank accounts grow. It's also worth noting that these income streams aren't mutually exclusive. A former politician can draw a pension, sit on multiple boards, do consulting work, and still have time for speaking engagements. The result? A continuous flow of income that can significantly exceed their initial earnings during their time in office. So, there you have it. That's how politicians get so rich. It's a combination of salaries, additional income streams, the power of influence, and continued earnings after leaving office. The world of politics might be a tough one to navigate, but for those who master it, the financial rewards can be substantial. So that's it for our deep dive into the wealthy world of politics. It's a fascinating and complex world, isn't it? But what do you think? Is the system fair? Should there be more regulations in place? Or do you believe that the rewards are justified? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Dive into the comments section below and share your opinions. Don't be shy. This is a community where everyone's voice matters. Also, if you found this video insightful and want to learn more about the intricate workings of our world, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We have a treasure trove of videos exploring a wide range of topics, from the global economy to the secrets of the universe, and we're always adding more. Remember, knowledge is power, and by subscribing, you're taking a step towards understanding the world a little better. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button and join our community of curious minds. Thank you for watching, and as always, don't forget to comment and subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going.